Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This is the 9th lecture of Ancient Indian History, and in this lecture we are going to discuss the topic of Later Vedic period. Later Vedic period का टाइम स्पेन है 1000 BC से लेके 600 BC तक का, राइट? नाउ हिस्टोरियंस को लेटर वैदिक पीरियड के बारे में जो भी जानकारी है वो मिलती है दो तरह के सोर्सेज से, एक तो लिटरेरी सोर्सेज और दूसरा आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज। तो जैसा कि हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में भी देखा था, अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड की जानकारी मिलती है ऋग्वेद से। सिमिलरली लेटर वैदिक पीरियड के दौरान जो लिटरेचर कंपोज किया गया उनमें आते हैं बाकी तीन वेद जो कि है यजुर्वेद, सामवेद, अथर्ववेद एंड देयर आफ्टर ब्राह्मणास, आरण्यकास एंड उपनिषद्स। तो इन सारे लेटर वैदिक टेक्स्ट से इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है अबाउट द ज्योग्राफी, इकोनॉमी, पॉलिटी, सोसाइटी एंड द रिलीजन ड्यूरिंग लेटर वैदिक पीरियड, राइट? इसके अलावा जो सेकंड सोर्सेज हैं दैट आर आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज, तो जो आर्कियोलॉजिकल एक्सकवेशंस में चीजें मिली है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल पोटरी मिली है, आयरन से बनी हुई चीजें मिली है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आयरन वेपन्स मिले हैं, तो इन सबसे आइडिया लगता है अबाउट द मटीरियल लाइफ ड्यूरिंग दैट पीरियड, राइट? सो फ्रॉम बोथ लिटरेरी सोर्सेज एंड आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज historians get the idea about the life of people during later Vedic period. So in this lecture we are going to have an in-depth discussion on later Vedic period in which we will discuss about its geography, economy, polity, society and religious life of people, right? इसके अलावा there is a separate lecture on Vedic literature that is available on this channel which you can watch later, right? So for now, without any further delay, let us start today's lecture. Okay, so starting with the geographical area of later Vedic period. So during later Vedic period, Aryans expanded from Punjab to western Uttar Pradesh covered by Ganga Yamuna Doab. Okay, so जैसा कि हमने अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड में देखा था, आर्यंस का मेन रीजन था सप्त सिंधु रीजन विच मीन्स लैंड ऑफ 7 रिवर्स एंड दिस वॉज द नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट, राइट? सो आर्यंस सप्त सिंधु रीजन से ओवर द ईयर्स ग्रेजुअली माइग्रेट करते हैं टुवर्ड्स गंगा यमुना द्वाब. Also, Shatapatha Brahmana refers to the expansion of Aryans to the eastern Gangetic plains. Okay, तो later Vedic period में Aryans expand करते हैं towards eastern Gangetic plains, right? Now शतपथा ब्राह्मण कौन से वेद का ब्राह्मण है ये आप मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइए. वैदिक लिटरेचर वाला जो लेक्चर था उसमें मैंने चारों वेदों के ब्राह्मण्स, आरण्यकास एंड उपनिषद्स को डिस्कस किया था. तो जिन्होंने भी वो लेक्चर देखा है आप कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइए दैट शतपथा ब्राह्मण इज द ब्राह्मण ऑफ विच वेदा. ओके, नाउ लेटर वैदिक टेक्स्ट में क्या और जोग्राफिकल रेफरेंसेस मिलते हैं उन्हें देखते हैं. तो जैसे कि कुछ और नदियों के बारे में बताया गया है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल गंडक, चंबल, नर्मदा. गंडक को कहते थे सदानीरा, चंबल को कहते थे चरमावती और नर्मदा को कहते थे रेवा, राइट? इसके अलावा लेटर वैदिक टेक्स्ट ऑल्सो रेफर्स टू 3 ब्रॉड डिविजन्स ऑफ इंडिया. दीज वर आर्यव्रत, मध्य देश, दक्षिण पथ. आर्यव्रत मीन्स लैंड ऑफ आर्यंस एंड इट वॉज द रीजन ऑफ नदरन इंडिया. Madhya Desh was the region of central India and Dakshinapath was the region of southern India, right? So this is it about the geographical area of later Vedic period. Next we will discuss about the economy of this period. Okay, so now we will discuss about the economy during later Vedic period. So the primary source of livelihood was agriculture. तो later Vedic period के दौरान primary source of livelihood था agriculture. वहीं अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड के दौरान मैंने देखा था दैट देयर प्राइमरी ऑक्यूपेशन वाज कैटल रियरिंग एंड देयर सेकेंडरी ऑक्यूपेशन वाज एग्रीकल्चर, whereas during later Vedic period agriculture became the primary occupation. Okay, so plowing was done with the help of wooden plowshare. wooden plowshare के साथ plowing की जाती थी and wooden plows were used with the help of oxen, right? Now Shatapatha Brahmana also mentions about various plowing rituals. Okay, so the crops that were cultivated were barley, rice, wheat, lentils, etc. Okay, and last lecture में हमने देखा था that early Vedic period में mainly barley ग्रो किया जाता था. barley को कहते थे यवा एंड लेटर वैदिक पीरियड में जो चीफ क्रॉप्स थी दैट वर राइस एंड व्हीट. राइस को कहते थे व्रीही, तंदुला और सली एंड व्हीट को कहते थे गोधुमा, राइट? सो दीज वर द क्रॉप्स दैट वर कल्टिवेटेड. So agriculture was the primary source of livelihood during later Vedic period. Now cattle rearing also continued. So cattle rearing, domestication of animals, these also continued, right? Now here next point is very important that use of iron began during this period. तो देखो यहाँ पहले कुछ चीजें रिवाइज करते हैं. तो ह्यूमंस ने जो सबसे पहला मेटल यूज करना स्टार्ट किया था दैट वाज कॉपर. कॉपर का यूज स्टार्ट होता है चालकोलिथिक एज से. चालकोलिथिक एज के बाद आती है इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन जहां ब्रोंज का यूज स्टार्ट होता है. ब्रोंज इज एन अलॉय ऑफ टिन एंड कॉपर. तो इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन के लोग ब्रोंज बनाने के लिए टिन लेते थे अफगानिस्तान से एंड कॉपर लेते थे चालकोलिथिक साइट से, स्पेशली राजस्थान से. सो टिन एंड कॉपर से वो बनाते थे ब्रोंज एंड ब्रोंज से बनी हुई चीजों का यूज करते थे. इसके बाद आयरन का यूज स्टार्ट होता है लेटर वैदिक पीरियड से, राइट। सो दिस क्रोनोलॉजी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, आपको ये क्रोनोलॉजी याद रखनी है। चालकोलिथिक एज में कॉपर, इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन में ब्रोंज एंड देयर आफ्टर लेटर वैदिक पीरियड में स्टार्ट होता है आयरन का यूज, ओके। So from excavations, archaeologists have found iron weapons like spearheads, arrowheads and iron implements belonging to this period. Okay, so इससे ये पता लगता है that use of iron began from the later Vedic period. Also, the terms Shyam Ayas and Krishna Ayas were mentioned in later Vedic texts. Shyam and Krishna means black and Ayas means metal. So Shyam Ayas and Krishna Ayas means black metal. And according to historians, this black metal was iron, right? Now next point is that there was great craft specialization during the later Vedic period. For example, metal work, इन सभी metals का use होता था. Thereafter leather work, pottery, carpentry, chariot making, weaving, etc. Right? So there was rise of various arts and crafts. Next point, that people during later Vedic period were acquainted with the 4 types of pottery. These were black and red pottery, black slipped ware, red ware and painted grey ware. Out of these, the most popular was red ware and it was found almost all over western Uttar Pradesh. Okay. However, the most distinctive pottery of this period was painted grey ware and it consisted of bowls or dishes and these were used for rituals or eating, especially by the upper sections of the society. Right? And painted grey ware की ज़्यादातर sites मिलती है upper Gangetic Basin से. Okay. So, because of this distinctive pottery, later Vedic period is also known as painted grey ware culture. Okay. Now, agriculture and various crafts enabled people to lead a settled life. Okay, so from early Vedic period to later Vedic period, there was a shift from pastoral life to sedentary or settled life. Okay, also rise of new arts and crafts led to the beginning of trade. तो न्यू आर्ट्स एंड क्राफ्ट्स के राइज के साथ ट्रेड का भी राइज होता है. एंड फॉर लुकिंग आफ्टर द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ ट्रेडिंग कम्युनिटी, मर्चेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज देमसेल्व्स इनटू गिल्ड्स. Guilds means association of traders and these associations were called ganas and shrenis, right? So this point is also important. And the trade was carried on through barter system. Barter system में सामान के बदले सामान दिया जाता है, goods were exchanged for goods, right? So trade was carried on through barter system. Thereafter there were references of niksha as well. Niksha was probably a gold coin. However, इसके कोई archaeological evidences नहीं मिलते, ठीक है? So this was all about the economy of later Vedic period. Next, we will discuss about the polity of this period. So, coming to polity. So, during later Vedic period, there was emergence of janpads. Janpad मतलब jana means tribe and pad means foot. So, janpad literally means foothold of tribe. इसका मतलब ट्राइब के जहां जहां पद पड़ेंगे, मतलब जहां जहां उनके पैर पड़ेंगे, वो टेरिटरी बन जाती थी उस ट्राइब की. So, Janapada means the territory or the area where tribe settled. Okay. Now some examples of Janpads were Kuru, Panchala, Kashi, Kosla, Videha, etc. Out of these, the most important Janpads of later Vedic period were Kuru and Panchala. Kuru tribe के बारे में हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में भी डिस्कस किया था. Kuru tribe was formed from the union of Bharta tribe and Kuru tribe, right? Now during later Vedic period, Kurus occupied the area of Delhi and upper portions of Ganga Yamuna Doab. तो लेटर वैदिक पीरियड में कुरुज ने ऑक्युपाई किया था दिल्ली वाला एरिया एंड अपर पोर्शंस ऑफ गंगा यमुना द्वाब. एंड दिस एरिया वाज कॉल्ड कुरुक्षेत्र, मींस लैंड ऑफ कुरुस. और वहीं पांचालास हैव ऑक्युपाइड द मिडल पोर्शंस ऑफ गंगा यमुना द्वाब, राइट? एंड ग्रेजुअली कुरुस एंड पांचालास केम टुगेदर एंड एस्टैब्लिश्ड देयर अथॉरिटी ओवर द एरिया ऑफ दिल्ली एंड अपर एंड मिडल पोर्शंस ऑफ गंगा यमुना द्वाब. एंड दे एस्टैब्लिश्ड देयर कैपिटल एट हस्तिनापुर, सिचुएटेड इन मेरठ डिस्ट्रिक्ट. और ये कहां पर है? उत्तर प्रदेश में, राइट? नाउ द टर्म राष्ट्र वाज आल्सो यूज्ड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन लेटर वैदिक टेक्स्ट. Okay, so during later Vedic period there was emergence of janpads or rashtras, or we can say territorial kingdoms, right? Next point is that there was increase in the power of the king. तो देखो लास्ट लेक्चर में हमने पढ़ा था अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड में किंग या राजन एक ट्राइब का हेड होता था. किंग रूल्ड ओवर द ट्राइब. बट ड्यूरिंग लेटर वैदिक पीरियड हमने देखा जनपद्स बनने लगे, मतलब टेरिटोरियल किंगडम्स बनने लगे. सो किंग अब सिर्फ एक ट्राइब का रूलर नहीं बल्कि पूरी एक टेरिटरी का रूलर बन गया. ठीक है. सो विद द इमर्जेंस ऑफ टेरिटोरियल किंगडम्स देयर वाज मैनीफोल्ड इंक्रीज इन द पावर ऑफ द किंग, राइट? नाउ फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ड्यूरिंग लेटर वैदिक पीरियड किंगशिप बिकेम हेरिडिटरी. अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड में हमने पढ़ा था किंग वाज द इलेक्टेड अथॉरिटी, बट ड्यूरिंग लेटर वैदिक पीरियड किंगशिप बिकेम हेरिडिटरी. ऑल्सो जो किंग था ही बिलोंग टू द क्षत्रिय वर्ण. ओके. Thereafter, the idea of divine nature of kingship was mentioned in later Vedic texts. This means that king derived his authority or right to rule from God. तो राजा को रूल करने की अथॉरिटी भगवान से मिलती है, ये दिखाने के लिए और लोगों में अपनी अनक्वेश्चनेबल अथॉरिटी एस्टैब्लिश करने के लिए किंग परफॉर्म करता था वेरियस सैक्रिफाइसेस एंड रिचुअल्स विद द हेल्प ऑफ ब्राह्मण्स, राइट. इनके बारे में हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. देयर आफ्टर किंग ऑल्सो एज्यूम टाइटल्स लाइक एकरथ, सम्राट एटसेट्रा, राइट. सो देयर वॉज इंक्रीज इन द पावर ऑफ द किंग ड्यूरिंग लेटर वैदिक पीरियड. So as we have discussed, king performed various rituals and sacrifices to strengthen his position, and Brahmins helped the king in this process. So these were those rituals and sacrifices. First, Rajasuya. Rajasuya was a sacrificial ceremony which conferred supreme power on the king. So basically, Rajasuya was a king's coronation ceremony which conferred supreme power on him. Okay. Then Ratnavimsi. Ratnavimsi was the part of Rajasuya ceremony. In this ceremony, different royal officials called Ratnins invoked different gods and goddesses. Right. Next, Ashwamedha. Ashwamedha means horse sacrifice, and it signified control over the area in which royal horse ran uninterrupted. तो बेसिकली राजा अश्वमेध सैक्रिफाइस किया करते थे अपने किंगडम की टेरिटरी बढ़ाने के लिए. तो इसमें एक राजा अपने घोड़े को फ्रीली छोड़ देता था और वो घोड़ा जहां जहां जाता था वो सारी टेरिटरी उस राजा की बन जाती थी. और अगर किसी और टेरिटरी के राजा ने उस घोड़े को रोका तो उस राजा को इस राजा के साथ युद्ध करना पड़ेगा. और अगर वो राजा ऐसा नहीं करता, उस घोड़े को नहीं रोकता और अपनी टेरिटरी में से फ्रीली पास होने देता है, तो इसका मतलब उस राजा ने इस राजा की सुजरेनिटी को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है. तो जब घोड़ा सब जगह घूमकर वापिस आता था तो राजा उस घोड़े का सैक्रिफाइस करते थे, मतलब उस घोड़े की बलि दी जाती थी. सो इट इंडिकेट्स दैट घोड़ा जहां जहां गया वो सारी टेरिटरी अब उस राजा की हो गई, राइट. सो दिस वॉज अबाउट द अश्वमेध सैक्रिफाइस. Thereafter, Vajpaya was the chariot race. In this race, the royal chariot, that is the chariot of the king, was made to win against his kinsman. Okay, so these were the various rituals and sacrifices that king used to perform in order to strengthen his position or to establish his supremacy over his people. Okay. Next point is that during later Vedic period, tribal assemblies lost their importance, whereas royal power increased. Right. So for example, Vidhata, which was the earliest tribal assembly, completely disappeared during later Vedic period. Thereafter, Sabha and Samiti, these assemblies were present, but their character changed. Now these assemblies were dominated by nobles and Brahmins. Okay. Thereafter, women were not permitted to attend these tribal assemblies. Right. So tribal assemblies lost their importance during this period. Next, there was system of regular tributes and taxes during this period, like Bali, Shulka, Bhaga. Okay. Thereafter, there was elaborate administration. So because of increase in territorial limit during later Vedic period, administration became more elaborate. So Shatapatha Brahmana refers to 12 Ratnis, which were officials or functionaries. Okay. So these were those 12 Ratnis. Now all this is factual information which you have to remember, right? So first, Purohit. Purohit was the priest. Mahishi was chief queen. Yuvraj was crown prince. Suta or Sarthi was charioteer. Senani was general. Gramini was head of village. Sangrahirti was treasurer. Bhagaduga was collector of taxes. Akshvapa was accountant. Kshata or Kshatri was chamberlain. Chamberlain means officer in charge of royal household. Then Palagala was the friend of king or a messenger. Then Govigarta was the head of forest department. So these were the 12 Ratnins mentioned in Shatapatha Brahmana. Okay. So this is it about the polity of later Vedic period. Next we will discuss about the society of this period. Okay, so now we will discuss about the society during later Vedic period. So like early Vedic period, family was the basic unit of society. But it became more patriarchal in nature during later Vedic period. Also, Grihapati, who was the head of the family, acquired special status. Thereafter, position of women declined during this period. Women were considered subordinate to men. Atriya Brahmana described daughters as the source of misery. Thereafter, participation of women was also restricted in tribal assemblies. And thereafter, polygamy was also frequent during later Vedic period. So all these points indicate that position of women declined during this period. Okay. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज अबाउट वर्ना सिस्टम. तो लास्ट लेक्चर में हमने डिस्कस किया था दैट वर्ना सिस्टम इमर्ज्ड टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड, राइट. सो इनिशियली दिस सिस्टम वाज बेस्ड ऑन ऑक्यूपेशन बट लेटर इट बिकेम हेरिडिटरी. So these were the four varnas: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. These four varnas was initially based on occupation, but later they became birth based. That is, the system became hereditary, right? So first Brahmins. So Brahmins were the priestly class. And during later Vedic period, their importance or their power increased because of the growing cult of sacrifices and rituals. Thereafter Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas were the rulers and warriors. And during later Vedic period, the kingship was restricted to Kshatriya Varna only. Thereafter Vaishyas. Vaishyas were assigned producing functions. So they consisted of agriculturalists, cattle rearers, traders and artisans. Thereafter Shudras. Shudras were at the bottom of the social hierarchy and they were the servers of the upper three Varnas. Also, they were not entitled to Upanayana Sanskar. Upanayana Sanskar means sacred thread ceremony, जिसमें जनेऊ पहनाया जाता है. And this ceremony marks the beginning of education. So, Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas were entitled to Upanayana Sanskar, but not the Shudras. Okay? So, this was about the Varna system during later Vedic period. Next point is that institution of Gotra appeared during this period. Gotra literally means cow pen, मतलब गाय का बाड़ा. So, it was the place where cattle belonging to the whole clan are kept. तो एक कुल की गाय को एक जगह पर रखा जाता था और उस जगह का नाम किसी ऋषि के नाम पर पड़ता था, जैसे गौतम, कश्यप, वशिष्ठ, अत्रि, भारद्वाज. तो इस तरह से अलग अलग गोत्र बने. एंड ओवर द कोर्स ऑफ टाइम गोत्रा सिग्निफाइड लीनिएज, मीन्स पीपल बिलोंगिंग टू द सेम गोत्रा हैव डिसेंडेड फ्रॉम अ कॉमन मेल एंसेस्टर. सो पीपल बिगैन टू प्रैक्टिस गोत्र एक्सोगैमी. गोत्र एक्सोगैमी मीन्स मैरिंग आउटसाइड द गोत्र. तो एक गोत्र के लोगों में शादी नहीं होती बिकॉज दे हैव डिसेंडेड फ्रॉम अ कॉमन एंसेस्टर. तो एक गोत्र के लोग तो सिबलिंग्स हो गए, भाई बहन हो गए, इसलिए एक गोत्र में शादी नहीं होती, दूसरे गोत्र में शादी होती है, राइट? एंड दिस हैपेंस टुडे एज वेल. ओके, सो दिस वाज द इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ गोत्रा. Next, the concept of ashram system emerged during this period. So there were 4 ashrams or 4 stages of one's life. So these are brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. Brahmacharya means student life. Grihastha means householder life. Vanaprastha means partial retirement from family life by residing in forest. Thereafter sannyasa means complete retirement from active participation in the world. Okay, so these were the 4 ashrams and these were formed to attain 4 purusharthas, that is dharma, artha, kam, moksha, right? Thereafter, different types of marriages during later Vedic period. Again, this is all factual information. So Brahma, it was a marriage of a duly dowried girl to a man of the same class. Deva, it was a marriage in which a father gave his daughter to a sacrificial priest as a part of his feast. Thereafter Arsa, in Arsa, a girl was given to a man in exchange of bride price. Next Prajapatya, in this marriage father gave his daughter without dowry and without demanding bride price. Thereafter Gandharva, Gandharva was a love marriage. Asura was marriage by purchase. Rakshasa was marriage by capture. Thereafter Peshacha was marriage by seduction. Thereafter Anuloma was a marriage of a higher Varna man with a lower Varna woman. Pratiloma was a marriage of a lower Varna man with a higher Varna woman. Okay, so these were the different types of marriages, and with this we have completed the discussion on society during later Vedic period. Okay, so coming to the last topic of today's lecture, that is religious life of people during later Vedic period. So during later Vedic period, gods of the early Vedic period like Indra, Agni lost their importance, and Prajapati, Vishnu and Rudra became important. Prajapati was the creator, Vishnu was the protector and preserver of the people, and Rudra was the god of animals, right? So during later Vedic period, Prajapati, Vishnu and Rudra became important, whereas the early Vedic gods like Indra, Agni, they lost their importance. Thereafter Pushan was the protector of cattle in the earlier period, but now Pushan became god of Shudras, okay? Thereafter, mode of worship also changed during later Vedic period. So during early Vedic period, the dominant mode of worship was recitation of prayers, whereas during later Vedic period, importance of prayers declined and that of sacrifices increased. Okay, so there were both public and private sacrifices. Public sacrifices involved king and the community, and private sacrifices were performed by people in their houses. Okay, and the formula for these sacrifices were invented and elaborated by the priestly class. So there was domination of Brahmins during later Vedic period. So during later Vedic period, there was increase in the frequency and number of yajnas, and these yajnas ended with the sacrifices of large number of animals. And these sacrifices resulted in the reduction of cattle wealth, right? And as we have discussed earlier, some important yajnas were Ashwamedha, Vajpaya and Rajasuya. So all these yajanas brought to Brahmins a large amount of wealth in the form of dan and dakshina. Okay, so the dominant mode of worship during later Vedic period was yajanas or sacrifices, and these were performed to get the material gains. Okay, so towards the end of this period, there was strong reaction against priestly domination and against sacrifices and rituals, right? Also, there was formulation of Upanishads. Upanishads were the philosophical texts, and these laid stress on the right belief and knowledge for peace and salvation. So Upanishads emphasized on the knowledge of Atman or soul as against these ritualistic practices. So the materialistic aspect of religion was discarded and it was raised to the realm of philosophy in Upanishads. Okay, so this was all about the religion or the religious life of people during later Vedic period. And here we come to the end of today's lecture, and with this lecture we have completely discussed the topic of Vedic period. Vedic period को हमने 3 पार्ट्स में डिस्कस किया. फर्स्ट पार्ट था वैदिक लिटरेचर का, सेकेंड पार्ट था अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड का, और थर्ड पार्ट जो कि आज का लेक्चर था दैट इज ऑफ लेटर वैदिक पीरियड. आई होप आपको ये लेक्चर यूजफुल लगा होगा. इफ यू फाइंड इट हेल्पफुल देन डू सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल एंड कीप वॉचिंग एंड कीप लर्निंग. थैंक यू सो मच.